Hi, hi, welcome to my political show, Covering the Political Times. Today on the show is the start of the all-new season 2 of my political show. The first season was a hit from my standards, and I can assure you that many people enjoyed, and I loved the show's reception. And today we'll start off the show on the season 2 by talking about what I like to call about the general first term of President Trump. How has he done in his first term? Is it successful or has it failed? And today I'm doing one more specialty as well. I'm going to rate 4 important factors on President Trump out of 10. My personal opinion. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section. That's totally acceptable. Now moving on. Now before starting the show, hit the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. And of course my channel. And also and tell me your opinion on what you think I should talk about, and give me your opinions about my point of view of things. So let's get out of the show. Now start the show. Now, of course, I often say that a president has a term. A term is 5 years. But a presidential 5 years is not just 5 years. There's a deep meaning for a 5-year term. There are so many factors that involves. For me, the 4 most involved factors for me is economical factors, is economy and foreign affairs, and of course social affairs and ethics. Now, of course, let me give you a rundown on quick factors of those. Economy is the general growth of the national economy under a presidential term, which can be affected by action of the president and his policies. And for foreign affairs are his or her president's involvement in foreign diplomacy. In foreign diplomacy, matters like dealing with trade deals, oils and etc., war interventions and such, etc. Has it been successful, etc.? Those factors. And social affairs are the or like racism and other social factors and etc. And also includes healthcare, in my point of view, is in the social barriers as well. Ethics are the honesty of a president. Does the follow ethics a president should be following? Like, let's say, not hiring personal family members for employment, something like that. So, and there are many ethics to follow if you are a president. So let's start off the show with the first question. Economic strength. Now, economical strength wise, President Trump has clearly shined and gleamed and had a wonderful location, economical strength, under the COVID-19 pandemic. You know, the last video, at the end of the last season, I said that President Trump's economical success is equivalent to the 90s. I predominantly said that. To the 90s, indeed. Comparing to Bill Clinton, I compared that. Now, in 2020, economical strength is a mixed bag actually. I don't take 2020 for account because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the shutdowns and all the global affairs. I will not take it into account. I will not, because it's unfair for anyone to be judged by a natural source to be damaged. So I will not use that as a concern. Now, the US economy in general grew by big numbers ever since former President Barack Obama, revived the economy in 2010 and 11. The revival was strong, and ever since until 2019, end of last year, we had an economy that was really strong. There was no question about the strength of the economy. I mean, as I said, comparable to Bill Clinton's 90s economy, we had a similar economic process. People were happy spending money, fuel prices are cheap, people are buying and spending. Real estate prices seems rather good as well. But started this year, it seemed like the pattern of economic strength was going to go on for President Trump, but unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic certainly didn't allow that to happen. So, I'm going to say President Trump in general had a very good economical strength in his term so far. So, out of 10, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. It could have been a perfect 10 if it weren't for the COVID-19 pandemic. So, I'm going to give it a 9. So, moving from the economic factors, I want to talk about foreign affairs. It's a mixed bag. You can disagree me on this or we disagree. That up to you, viewers. When it comes to foreign affairs, the recent times we heard that the UAE and etc. and Saudi Arabia is working with Israel and etc. Very good successful achievement indeed. President Trump managed to talk to Kim Jong-un, the North Korean president. Pretty good achievement indeed. I would call Kim Jong-un the president, not supreme leader. So let's get that pretty clear. So it makes sense. So it seems like achievements are there, but there are major concerns as well. President Trump's love for dictators seems to be a love affair that he can't refuse. He loves Russian President Vladimir Putin. He loves many Egyptian presidents and prime ministers. He loves quite a few loves strong men. And you can't blame him for that. I actually respect him for respecting these people because they are strong leaders. You got to love strong leaders, but there's a balance between strong leaders and sensible leaders. Like, how can we ignore a female prime minister when they give their point of views? I mean, look, the world is, politics is a two-way street. There are female and male leaders. Equal respect is required. I guess President Trump may have not done that exactly in his term so far. But I would not go too far into that details because who am I to tell you? You see watch, you see news, you understand me more than anything else what required. And of course, President Trump's slight innocence about foreign land, like Greenland, purchase of Greenland. It was inventive and nice, but Greenland is someone else's property. So, sorry, President Trump, you are a great president, but you can't buy Greenland. It's not a business. Sorry. And of course, with the UK, he loves Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Seems fairly good call. I think Boris Johnson is a no-nonsense Prime Minister indeed, so it's pretty good to love him. Again, I was not a big fan of Theresa May, the former Prime Minister of the UK, clearly, because she couldn't make a decision right. Often would go back and etc. But end of the day, I guess it makes sense to love Boris Johnson. But there are far too many moments in President Trump jeopardizes his foreign affairs into his local affairs, which I will come into the later part of this episode. So out of all the foreign affairs, I would give him an 8 out of 10. Why 8 out of 10? Because there are 2 points that's been knocked off. The Saudi Arabian crisis and many more factors in mind, which I don't have to tell you, you know the affairs. Now let's talk about social affairs. Now this one is a bit of a disappointment for me actually. If I ever did a show during the last presidency on President Obama, I might give you a large score. But I'm not so sure this time around. I'm not so quite sure. You see, the matter of the argument is, every president has a weak point. President Obama had a weak point. He was African American, so some certain white voters didn't appreciate his side. But thanks to his white vice presidents, he managed to get away with that every single occasion. Thank God we have a black American president, thank goodness. President Trump's jinx in the armory is his social affairs. I can tell you he's not a racist. But I guess he thinks all lives matter policy. Mr. Trump, let me tell you about some social science or social society lessons. In the world of humanity, sometimes there are a little bit more than all lives matter. Our humanity is not perfect enough to say all lives matter. If it were, we take it the wrong side. Anyway, we are just human beings, not super computers to say we all of us are together. It's not. And of course, President Trump's support towards certain group of people is also a bit of a problem, and also his love for gun control, lack of gun control is affecting the United States society, significantly affecting them, dearly affecting. People are dying with shootings in schools and etc. And in fact, because of these shootings, people assume there is racism in the United States. Some shootings happen not because of racism. Some people are simply a little bit cuckoo. That's the problem. That's why shootings happen. But then how can we differentiate shootings between racism and the cuckoo shootings? It's really hard actually. There's only one way to get it, unless we can't. That's where a leader like President Trump has to stand out and say he must be able to differentiate and convince the public it's not racism. But I guess it's hard for President Trump, a man who had everything in his life the day he came into the business world. His father gave him a check to start his business. He developed his own, he developed his father's company. So I guess he doesn't really know what is it like to be an Asian person living in the United States, trying to earn a living or trying to work 24 hours a day, doing 2 jobs, what it is like to be harassed by all the racism around you, or your neighbor doesn't invite for the barbecue because of your color or racism. I mean, yes, or sometimes you have been completely embarrassed because of where you're coming from, not because of the culture you belong to. I mean, prime examples is in the Middle East. How many times are the people from the Middle East get ridiculed for different things? I mean, that's some things like that. President Trump has so much to address on that factor. I mean, I talked enough of one factor, so yes, I'm going to say I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10 on that one. Sorry, I don't like the score what I gave, but there is no choice. 4 out of 10. Now the last one, the strong one, ethics. Now I'm going to say this straight and front, ethics have not been something the US presidents are loved to have. President Richard Nixon, he would have got a 0 for militarily for his ethics. President Obama would have got an 8 because again he didn't do anything insignificant. So I would say that Bill Clinton, I would give him a 9 or even a 10 despite Monica Lewinsky effects. Because look, isn't every man has an affair with woman once in a while? Did it affect his judgment on a random country member? Young generation, Gen Xers, your parents conceived you under President Bill Clinton's presidency. Have you ever guessed how to live in luxury in your childhood? Yes, thanks to President Bill Clinton's economy. I mean, I don't get the slack around the affair of Monica Lewinsky to this day. A man is an affair. Let it go. That's an affair between a wife and a husband. Those two should deal with those problems, not the general public. Now, with President Trump, though, it's not the personal life that affects the people. It's the how do I be delicate with this thing? It's the general ethics, like hiring a son-in-law for the job. When it's clearly said, Warren G. Harding gave all future presidents a bloody good lesson. Don't have friends around you, they will kill you with a goddamn stroke. But no, many presidents have followed that to this day. But President Trump refuses to. He has made his daughter Ivanka Trump meet Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe long time ago. Fun, it's not a family picnic, it's a presidential job. Fine. I feel like President Trump's ethics are becoming a little bit of a weak point, so I'm not going to go deeper than this. I'm simply going to say 2 out of 10. But again, Richard Nixon got a naught if I ever gave Richard Nixon. So again, President Trump, don't be disappointed by my numbers. Your supporters will clearly disagree with my numbers. But one thing I can tell you this. Ethics doesn't matter anymore in anywhere in politics. I can tell you, ethics are long gone. Narendra Modi clearly is a racism side. He does support racism. So unfortunately, I can't say more about it. So I won't. But I can tell you this. President Trump, as a general in presidency, for me, out of 10, for the general presidency, I would give it a 5. Not the most successful, nor failed. The problem is the last two matters were his biggest weak points yet. So I really can't give him an 8 for his presidency. It's not what I would have loved to give him more, but I have to stand by my honest opinions on this. And you can fight me on the comments. So yes, a bit disappointing, but he only gets a 5 for the general presidency. But I would compare this to 2 previous presidents. Barack Obama, I would give him a 9 out of 10. Actually, I would give him a full 10 for that. Of course, I give George W. Bush a 9 out of 10 because he fought the Iraq War and fought terrorism who attacked the United States 9/11. So Bill Clinton, I would give a 10 again because the man did certain things and the family have actually given him sympathizers than actual haters. So thank you for watching my video as I said for my new season. Thank you very much. Join me on the show on the next episode and watch my previous episodes as well. Thank you very much.